Last week you showed how to disassemble a Lamy Z24 converter, the red one, which is true. Can you also disassemble the Z26 converter? Yes. And I'm kicking myself because I could have easily mentioned this in last week's video, but I just didn't think of it for some reason. So I'm going to cover it again, and now it's going to be a whole separate video. We can slice this one up too. But yes, so I'm not going to show you how to disassemble the Z24 converter because the concept is exactly the same. So if you already know how to do that, you can do the same thing with your Z26, but I'm still going to show you anyway. The nice thing about the Z26 though is it disassembles more easily. So the concept is going to be exactly the same, but it's going to be easier to do, thus easier for me to demonstrate. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. It's going to get a little close on my stubble here. But anyway, here is the Lamy Z26, and it is a piston converter. So it has a piston that slides down when you twist it, and then it slides up when you twist it the other way. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is pull off the metal shroud. It's kind of hard to do. Well, actually, I can do it. Whoa! Lost it. I can actually do it just with my fingers. It helps to have, you know, a piece of rubber or Goulet grip or a rubber band or something like that. I have these little Goulet grips here that I'll grab. So if you have a little piece of rubber or something, you can just slide this right out of there. And then I'm going to try and do this just with my fingers. Look at that. Okay, it just comes right out. So for whatever reason, it's easier to do than the Z24. What the heck, I'll go ahead and do the Z24 too. Now that I know how to do it, it's really easy. So this metal shroud comes off. It's a little harder to pull off, but if you look up at the top here, it'll actually be easier for me to show. You can tell that like the plastic part of the converter here is different. It's clearer on the Z24, the end is a little different, and it doesn't have these little posts on it. Not that that matters in this case, but there's one more difference that matters right now, and it's like there's a little slit that's cut in the top here, and it makes it easier to pull the mechanism out of the Z26 than it does out of the Z24. So I'm going to pull the Z24 out. I got to get a good grip on it though, pun intended. And it's going to take me a second to get it. There we go. Okay, so you got to really have some force on the Z24 to be able to do it. But if you look at the Z24 and Z26 body, you can see there's a little slit that's cut in the top of the Z26. Can you see that? You can see my chin pretty well, but you can't see that so much. Anyway, trust me, there's a little slit that's cut right in here. It is not that way on the Z24. So the Z24 is a lot more pressure, and this is a brand new Z26 that I have just, I think, disassembled once maybe, but yeah, I can actually do that just with my fingers. So the cool thing about this is if you get ink behind the piston, you can clean it out easily. You can grease up, you know, grab a little bit of, you know, your silicone grease here, and you can grease up, you know, the piston rod. You can put a little grease on the seal, and it'll keep it moving smoothly. And then all you got to do is press it back in place. You put the metal shroud on, that'll help to keep it in place, and then you can keep it operating smoothly. Very, very simple, even simpler than the Z24. So, great question, Lauren. I'm kicking myself for not having addressed it myself last time, but at least now you know.